What's up, magical people? Welcome back to Your Most Magical Life. I'm Mia Magic. Today we're talking about this solstice season into the Capricorn new moon energy closing out 2022. This is very exciting, and just so you guys know, I really miss my old set. So those of you who are new, you're not missing anything, but those of you who have been here for a while, man, I cannot wait to get my globe chair back and color my own walls. But this is my mom's wall, and I fucking love this color, actually, and I'm gonna do some sponging the next time, so it's actually gonna be elevated, my next set, but just wanna let you guys know that because it's something I'm thinking about. So the Capricorn new moon, why would I talk about the set? Because Capricorn is the sign of our mission. So this sign, especially coming right on the tail end of the solstice is officially at, well, in my time zone, on the afternoon of the 21st, which is like where the sun is, right? It's scientific. We don't need to get into all of that. I'm a witch doctor, not a real doctor. You know what I'm saying? So not exactly my area of expertise, what's happening with the alignments, but I understand the energy. So that's what we're going to focus on here. Capricorn is all about taking small steps, climbing the mountain, not needing to like, woohoo, like I'm gonna jump off this cliff and soar into the unknown. Like, no. Oh, Capricorn is a hard no to that. No. Measured, easy, quick. Sorry, not so quick, but like think, one leads to the other kind of quick. We're not rushing here. Capricorn does not rush, not interested in rushing, has no desire to rush. So how this moon is really affecting us, if you caught my solstice video, sorry for my low energy, oh my God, I've pretty much never made a video that I watched and I was editing it and I was like, oh my God, girl, like you're really in the winter. You're really embodying what you're talking about here in your video. I was about as low energy as I have ever been on any type of content that I've created, but it was appropriate because that's what the solstice is about, is this dark time leading up to the light beginning to return, the new year really being more like springtime. That's when life returns. There's so many different traditions, so many different calendars for what marks the end of one season and the beginning of another, the year, the astrology. So again, we're not going to get into all of that, but it does apply in relationship to your mission. Because my mission, right, is to help us understand how all of the ancient ways not only can be brought into our modern day, but how when we do that, we can positively impact and affect our own lives. We can feel more harmoniously connected to and in union with nature and the natural world and the earth and this incredible planet, this living sentient deity we call Mother Earth. So like I said, Capricorn is not concerned with rushing. It's not about like, oh, let me take this grand giant leap and I'm just going to trust that the net will appear. Definitely not. Capricorn would be like, are you fucking crazy? No, let's talk about this. Let's think about this. Let's do some planning, okay? Let's get a little bit organized here. The way that all of the earth signs are a little more organized. Taurus probably the least so. Taurus's earth energy is more about like the sensual pleasures and I'm going to enjoy myself as much as I can and eat all the best food and have all of the most luxurious experiences that I can have and deeply connect with nature. I want to know the earth. I want to know the land. I want to know the forests and the meadows and the mountains, which is why I'm a Taurus rising. It makes perfect sense. Virgo, most organized, right? So we've got a spectrum. Capricorn is in the middle of the earth signs. It's the balance, right? It's both. It's not like type A, super anal about all of the details of things the way that Virgo tends to be. But it's also not like lackadaisical like Taurus of just like, ah, la, 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 I'll just be over here in my seashell being Venusian. Someone stroke me with silk and a feather and feed me strawberries, you know, like no. Capricorn's in the middle of those two. So this new moon coming right at the tail end of the solstice portal, that day or two in the solstice energy, this Capricorn moon is asking us to look at all the information that we've gathered. So if you watched my Gemini full moon video and you watched my solstice video, you've had this information already, but I'm just going to give you guys a little refresher. The invitation was to look back on your year and do a little not too much analysis, but that's Gemini loves analysis. So you can now do a little less if you want, but really just look through your year. Start January, go month by month. What did I learn? Where did my challenges arise? Where did I meet edges? Where did I grow? Where did I succeed? Where did I fail? What did I learn from that failure, right? And this Capricorn moon, you can put a little bit of a different sort of theme or energy into it, and that's specifically in relationship to how you're showing up for what you believe is your purpose here on this planet. What is the mission that you came to Earth for? What do you believe that your life is divinely designed and destined to achieve or accomplish? So you can look at that. Like for me, a big theme this year is procrastination. There were a lot of things that I just didn't do, like starting a podcast. I just like pushed off, or I said, oh, this will happen, or oh, I can't find the right team, or oh, I need this, or la 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 la, or like spending too much time on social media. I have a screen time limit, and sometimes I honor it. Most days I honor it, and some days I don't, right? And now we don't want to shame ourselves. We don't want to like hate ourselves. But when you're looking in relationship to your mission, for someone like me, where social media, it's like my partner, he's always allowed when I'm on my phone to say, are you working or scrolling? Because there's a big difference. I can use my phone and I have to use Instagram or YouTube for these engagements with you all, for my business, for participating in the world in the way that I want to, sharing the information that's valuable to me, that's helped me change my life. But I can also be on my phone and just wasting time. And that's not what I want. That's not an expression of my mission. That's not getting me any farther or closer to it. That's not me taking the little steps up the mountain of my mission. That's the opposite of Capricorn energy. Capricorn would be like, oh, I don't have time for that. I'm moving forward now. I can't bother with social media right now. I've got this, and this on my to-do list. I'm moving up here in the direction. Once I achieve these goals, once I accomplish like whatever, if I'm going to take 5 steps today using the mountain metaphor, after I accomplish those 5 steps or tasks, then I can take a break. Then I can do a little scrolling, or then I can, call a friend or decorate my Christmas tree or whatever the case may be. So that's a big theme for me. And I notice that when I share what's really going on for me and don't just try and like talk at you and tell you how fabulous everything should be, that you resonate a little bit more with it. So I want to keep it real with you all. So what your invitation is to look at what patterns or what habits or behaviors, what stories is what we were talking about with the Gemini energy, what darkness is what we were talking about with the solstice, has been hindering your progress up that mission mountain. What has been sort of preventing you from achieving or accomplishing your goals? Now, again, something to note is that this is the tail end energy of that Gemini full moon. So that's coming to completion with what are the stories that need to be let go of. Gemini's the storyteller. So how can you look back on 2 weeks ago if you did anything for the full moon? Which for me, this is one of the things that like my partner and I were both Geminis, and he doesn't always understand why it's so important for me, like the phases and okay, this is this new moon, we need to do this thing, and this is this full moon, we need to do this thing, and this archetype applies here, and this is why this matters. And he's just like, well, who cares? It's just the same. It's like every day. He doesn't get it. For me, the stories that I committed to relinquishing and releasing from my life on that Gemini full moon, I have succeeded so well in those 2 weeks. Like, it's been a miracle. Now, some of the ways that shows up are subtle. And maybe nobody else notices except me, but who fucking cares, right? It's not about what anybody else notices. Your mission is your own. Your mission doesn't have to be about social media. It doesn't actually even have to be about achieving anything or physical goals or like tangible manifest experiences. All it is you feeling fulfilled and you feeling like you're living in alignment with the earth and with your version of God, goddess, universe, divine source, energy, consciousness, whatever the case may be. And so that's been a huge thing for me. I have a new program coming soon called Sorceress, Sourcerous, because the source actually means to rise. It's like what's rising from within us, right? When we think about the source, this is like what rises into life, and OUS means to be full of. So how can we be full of our own power? How can the source be the magic rising from within us and filling us? So that is the invitation for this Capricorn new moon, is to just pay attention to what stories you may have. And if you haven't, like, it's okay. You start fresh again right here. That's what's so beautiful about new moons. But if you did pay attention to that Gemini full moon, how have your last 2 weeks gone? Now, you can really tie that in with your overarching sort of year analysis. This is how it all went for me. And now here's these last 2 weeks. That was the last full moon of the year. This is the last new moon of the year. And really, like, this is the new year because it's the solstice. So again, with calendars and things, sometimes the new year is in spring. Sometimes I like that the year starts with winter. It's like, let the year actually start with this cold, dark, quiet time. That's the womb. That's that birthing energy. That's like, okay, here we are. I'm gestating. I'm hibernating. And then I emerge in springtime. Something is reborn. But, you know, usually like that would have been our new year. So you wouldn't have had to be all excited about New Year's resolutions in winter. You weren't doing much in winter. You could like barely survive because there wasn't enough food. Sorry for those of you that I'm repeating myself. But this Capricorn new moon is an opportunity for planting seeds. So this is a great time to think about, not necessarily like what you need to do in order to like make all your resolutions and like, oh, I'm going to work out and oh, I'm going to do this, but what is required of you to achieve or accomplish your mission? Are you achieving or accomplishing it? What are you doing in your life? What habits or behaviors? Again, because earth signs are about our earthly reality. They're about our material existence. They're about our home. They're about our career. They're about like what surrounds us. They're about our relationships. Everything that's like tangible and physical, money, career, purpose, people, home, environment, all of that is earth sign energy. So how can you really understand the way that your life is or is not supporting you taking those small steps on a daily basis up the mountain, and look at, instead of like resolutions and like I said, oh, I'm going to work out or I'm going to do all these things, just notice what are the things that are most important for you to start doing. Again, like this is earth. Fire signs are really like the doing, the taking action, but we can look at this energy of the solstice and see how that tied in on almost the same day really applies here. The light is returning. The sun is returning after this day. This is the longest night and the shortest day. The days start to get longer again from this moment. The light is returning. Light, fire is a sign of action, of transformation, of motivation, of how we move forward. So if we can look at that and say, okay, the light is returning, the action, this motivation, this time is returning. It doesn't mean there's a lot of light yet. We're not in summertime. Don't worry. It's not like, okay, you better do everything right now. No. Winter is really just beginning. But we can call in that light into ourselves and say, okay, what would be one step every day that I could make to start moving more in the direction of my mission? What would be one step that I could take every day that would move me more in the direction of my destiny? And that's the invitation of this Capricorn new moon. It's small steps. It's not big leaps. It's not like making some massive shift that's going to just change everything and oh my God, and then getting disappointed or upset when it doesn't work out or it doesn't happen the way that you thought it would. No, not helpful. It's about the little moments. How can you add magic to your mundane moments in order to manifest your mission? What is necessary for you if you let those stories go? If you really let that all go, who do you get to be? What is that version of you, this step? Who am I at this step? Who am I at this step? How am I walking? Am I walking in a good way? You know, in my solstice video, I really talked about like Amazon and the way that we're taking care of the planet, which we're not doing. we're not doing. Ordering all of your stuff from Amazon is not good for the planet. And it just puts more money in the hands of the people that are trashing our mother. Now, apparently there are small businesses that have access to selling things on Amazon, fine. But what I'm talking about is like the slave labor, the plastic, the, just mass produced things. Those are just not as good for the planet as something that is handmade, where the energy is different, where there's a passionate craftsperson behind it. It's just different. So for me, that's part of my mission, is talking about that, because I know that my attention to that detail, that me taking steps on that path and integrating that into my mission, I know that that has served and supported me in generating more abundance, because I'm not operating or relating with the frequency of scarcity. I'm just not. I don't buy things in plastic. The only stuff I buy in plastic is cat food. And it's because it's the best quality cat food that comes in a plastic bag. And it's all I can do, unless I want to just make my own organ meat. It's kind of a lot for me. So I'm not doing that yet. But it's just about taking the small steps. What's one thing you can let go of? What's one slightly more sustainable activity you can engage in? What's one step you can take, like starting a compost pile or something like that, to be more in alignment with the earth? Because when you are in alignment with the earth, who is the true source of all of our abundance, that's where all abundance rises and grows from. We think about plants rising up and out from the earth. That is the abundance of our planet. When we are aligned with her, we actually experience more abundance in our lives in general. And if you're already financially set, it's going to show up as an abundance of health, of well-being, of interpersonal relationships, being more fulfilling, being more communicative, feeling easier and more connected. So this is really the invitation. And I invite all of you to just look at, how are you behaving? What stories have prevented you from being who you desire to be? And how can you now look at not putting big amounts of pressure on yourself, but just small measured steps? What would be one thing? Like for me, I had a team meeting this morning. It was like starting Monday, 8:30. Okay, and then I'm getting into creation. It's time. It's like, okay, I'm going to create the things that I need to create. Let me write the emails. Let me make the reels. Let me make the YouTube video. Like, this is my mission. This is how I'm starting my Monday. Okay, then after that, I can handle, going out for a walk or sitting by the fire reading my book. I'm reading a book called The Legacy of Luna right now, about Julia Butterfly, who lived in the redwood tree for 2 years. It's absolutely magnificent. Highly recommend if you're looking for a great little holiday winter read. She's a fucking hero. Also, watching the documentary Nothing Compares, that is about Sinead O'Connor. Also highly recommend. It's on all the platforms. Pick your poison. Those are my two things. I've already watched the Sinead O'Connor documentary twice. I can't stop it. I think about it every day. It's so amazing. So highly recommend that. That's how I'm spending my winter downtime right now. So my prayer for you is really that we all see how important it is to align ourselves first and foremost with the planet. That's why we celebrate the solstice, is because this is a planetary, cosmological, solar alignment. Great. That's why Christmas became what it is. It's the sun being born. It's the coming of the sun. The sun is coming. Great. And this Capricorn new moon asks us to plant the seeds. It's not about, again, I'll say it over and over, it's not about the big action. It's planting the seeds. The seeds that have fallen from the plants at the end of summer and autumn, those seeds are what grows and are reborn to blossom in spring. So we're just planting the seeds right now. But winter is such a great time for reflection. It's cold, it's dark. What do you need to do to feed the seeds? How do the seeds need to be nourished? What is the light, the action, the fire, the passion, the motivation, the drive? What is the water? What emotions? What creative flow do you need to generate or melt? Maybe some of your emotions have been a little bit frozen, right? Watch Frozen 2, also a great winter activity. Very, very important metaphor in that film. Atahalan is frozen. It's our power, it's our emotions, it's our tears, it's our sweat, it's our blood, it's our sacred juices between our legs. With our air, are we breathing? How is our sight, our mind, are our thoughts clear? Are the stories clear, or are we caught in an illusion? And then with our earth, how are we taking care of our bodies? right? All this alcohol, all this sugar, all this crazy Christmas, it's not good for us. So how are you taking care of, how are you tending to your vessel, your relationships, right? That's why I just made this reel about talking to your Christian family, because I know a lot of us have trouble with that. And so all of these elements can really show us how we are being asked by the universe to manifest our mission, to heal our ancestral wounds, to be the role model that our families never had, to be the teacher now for like what's possible and how it could or should be. And ultimately, for lack of a better term, to be the change we wish to see in the world. That's really our mission, y'all. I think that's why we're here right now. That's why all of us have come to Earth and come to our awakening journeys, is to truly be that change. Because the powers that be, the systems in place, they're not being the change we want to see. So it's up to us. We have to do it. And so that, I believe, is what this energy of Capricorn is asking us to do. And Capricorn is one of the mystical creatures. There's only two, the centaur and the Capricorn is the mergoat. And the story is that Pan dove into the ocean to escape like retribution. He was like in trouble for something, you know, he like fucked one too many nymphs or something like that. And he was being punished and he dove into the ocean and Poseidon like turned him into half a fish. So taking the little measured steps, but also being able to go with the flow. That's why Capricorn wants to sort of plan and take care of the solid, safe structure and foundation in order to be like, okay, if something goes wrong, I'm going to flow this way. I'm going to use that little tail that I've got and I'm going to just shift my direction because that's what's being asked of me. I got to change course. I've got to take a different path. Oh, you know, there's a fallen tree or a cliff face that has gone into the ocean on this trail. I got to take a different trail up the mountain. We have to be adaptable. And that's a big part of Capricorn energy, is like plan as much as you can, right? Like take the little steps, but that adaptation, it's easier to adapt to, you know, acclimate to a different idea or a different situation if we're not taking those massive leaps, right? If you take a big leap and you got to like acclimate to something different, like, oh shit, my parachute's not going to work right now and I've just taken this leap, you're fucked, right? It's going to be really hard. Hopefully you'll grow wings. Otherwise you're going to die and be reborn, right? But that's the ask, is to watch, okay, I'm taking these little steps. Oh, something has to change. Okay, I can just quickly shift course. I got this. And that's really a big invitation for all of us, and an opportunity really, is to look at what do we need to do to take care of ourselves, especially around the holidays right now with your families and like hard conversations and, you know, heightened tension and energy. Is like, okay, wow, this isn't landing with my parent or with my dad, or I'm arguing with my brother or whoever it is. I'm going to just adjust and I'm going to take a different path right now, or I'm going to do whatever it is that I need to do to take care of myself, to move again in the direction of my mission. Is me getting caught up in their shit and their downward spiral helping me move towards my mission? No. So I'm going to choose something else. I'm going to take a different path right now. And that can look like changing your behavior in the way that you interact with your family. That's a huge part of this energy right now. Why this new moon is coming during this holiday season, right? And like the new moons don't care about the holidays, right? They're like, oh, bacteria on our skin, can't see you, can't hear you, can't feel you, don't care, right? But I mean, I think they do a little bit sometimes, but it's all interrelated, right? Micro, macro. Here we are down on the micro, talking about the macro. But this is, in fact, the invitation. If those of us who are on the awakening spiritual journey and on the path right now want to achieve and accomplish our mission, we cannot let the muggles get us down. You just can't. Because if you do, you're fucked. You will never achieve or accomplish anything. The way that I have achieved my success is by remaining delusionally devoted to my desires. Didn't matter who said what, told me I was crazy, stupid, loser, never gonna happen. I was like, well, I'm gonna keep trying. I'm gonna keep taking those little steps. And it's worked. To be able to build a business from magic, hopes and dreams and rainbows, sparkles, and unicorns and dragons is a fucking miracle. And I did it. I'm doing it. I'm never going to stop. And so I hope that me sharing what supports me and what helps me, especially, you know, some of the things that are hard to say that people get triggered by, like don't use plastic, you know, I get it. Convenience. I get it. You think I don't want my life to be a little more convenient? I do. When I'm decorating my house, you think it wouldn't be easier for me to just go to Target instead of like scouring the antique shops to try and find matching things so that I can stay in harmonious alignment with the agreement I've made with Mother Earth to only buy things secondhand? Come on, it would be great. But that's not the embodiment of my mission, so I can't do it. It actually drags me away because it means that I'm not in integrity with what I'm sharing with all of you. So really look back on your year, look back on your choices, look back on your interactions, look back on your adventures and all of your lessons and see, okay, what seeds, again, seeds are not flowers. What seeds am I planting right now? How can I nourish and nurture them during this dark time where I have to be the light? I have to shine brightly to illuminate the darkness so that I can see what's there. And when you can do that, there will be so much more nourishing, beautiful, miraculous, magnificent fruit and flower come spring, blossoming in your life, being reborn. So thank you all so much for watching. I hope you have such an amazing solstice and holiday season. Happy new moon. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. I am Mia Magic, and it is my eternal pleasure and greatest honor to have this incredible mission of welcoming you to your most magical life.